Hey guys, welcome back to the James Bond Show. I'm your host, Krazy Kajeevie, the bad boy of James Bond with no fears, limits, or substitutes. And tonight, I've got a very special video. Now, if you haven't caught up with it, I've previously filmed and uploaded my top 10 hottest Bond babes video. So check that out. And thank you to everyone that's commenting and leaving their top 10 Bond babes. What I decided to do, I'm just getting Bond, guys. Bond crazy, Bond hardcore. And I've decided to do my top 10 James Bond vehicles. Now, this isn't necessarily just a vehicle alone. This comes down to how they're used in the film, what the vehicle is, what it looks like in real life, and just how I feel about it, how I feel it impacts the film. And also, the most important thing I'm probably judging this on is, what would it be like in real life to see this vehicle in action and to own one, to have one, drive one, ride one, fly one? What would it be like? So that is where that's how I'm judging this. Now also, I have little props to help me. Now, this isn't about the James Bond car collection, and this isn't about favorite toy cars. This is favorite vehicles in the films, but I'm going to use some toys here just to show the vehicles I'm talking about. It'll be something a bit different, a bit fun. So, okay, guys, let's get into this. Now, I'm going to do my honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are the Kenworth truck from License to Kill. You probably didn't expect that one, guys, but again, the way it was used in the film is just pure magic. So the Kenworth truck right there from License to Kill, the way they were used was so incredible, and the second unit did an incredible job filming those. Okay, so that's an honorable mention. My other honorable mention is, now some people, I don't know why, I think the Bondola from Moonraker, I think this gets crapped on a bit, and this is one of my other honourable mentions. There is the Bondola. Hope you can see it through the glare, guys. The Bondola from Moonraker. Love the Bondola. Imagine using that. Imagine going down the canals of Venice and firing that sucker. I think it would be pretty freaking awesome. Okay, so other honourable mention is the Land Rover Series 3 from one of the best PTS sequences ever done. And I'm going to do a top 10 of the PTS sequences coming up very soon. And you guys have been asking me to do a lot of top 10s. I'm doing them now. So here's the Land Rover Series 3 from The Living Daylights with Timothy Dalton hanging. You can see a little, it's so cool there, the way the James Bond car collection have done this. You can see a little Timothy Dalton Bond hanging on the back there. How cool is that? So every time I see that, I think of the John Barry music. Okay, guys, let's get Hubba Bubba right into this. So, guys, at number 10 is the Dr. No tank. I love it. I just love this vehicle. It's so James Bond. It could only be James Bond. It's iconic to James Bond. And it's crazy to think even the realness and the grittiness of Ian Fleming and the Dr. No film being so like the novel and being very loyal to it, that they have a dragon tank. So the Dr. No dragon tank, that is at my number 10. My number 9 is... So at number 9, I've failed counting at school. At number 9 is, now this one might take people as a surprise, but it is the BMW RC 1200 motorbike from Tomorrow Never Dies. I absolutely love the way it was used. I'm actually purchasing very soon. I'm getting a 1/6 scale one of these as well, and it's going to be huge and look brilliant, and I'm buying one of those for a big diorama I'm planning for Tomorrow Never Dies. So check that out. That is the BMW. Now the way that was used in that chase, especially he's got Waylon on him and the jump over the bike. Wow, awesome. So that is my number 9. So my number 8. My number 8 favourite James Bond vehicle is... Now this is probably going to take you guys by surprise as well. But I think it's a thing of beauty. And imagine if one of these existed in real life and you saw it, imagine this. The Moonraker shuttle. Drax's Moonraker shuttle. Now, the little thingy in there, the little satellite thingy in there, isn't in there. It's actually in my display cabinet. But there is the Moonraker shuttle. I just think it's, and when you see them in the film, brilliant. So again, imagine having one of those in real life and being able to be in one. Woo! Okay, so my number 7 favourite James Bond vehicle is, from For Your Eyes Only, Citroen 2CV. Melina Havelock, Citroen 2CV. And big apologies too, guys, in my Hot Bond Babes, I actually originally had, and this is for you, Mano, one of my subscribers, I originally had Melina Havelock at number 8. I had to redo my list because I made a mistake in it. And then, I left Melina out, so I probably would have done it as a tie with someone, but yes, she's a hot babe. But she's kind of the girl you take home to your mum to meet as well. But ooh, when she's in the wetsuit bikini type thing, she's looking pretty hot. But there is her car, the Citroen 2CV. And the way it was used for such a, old beat up car, it was creative and inventive by Remy Julien and his team that did the stunt work for that. It was so good, loved it. So guys, my number 6 is, now this is kind of a 2-part here. It's kind of the one car. Now, I've got the other car, but it's in the cabinet. I should have brought it out, but it is a tie between, they're really the same car. One's just a soft top, one's not, or a convertible and one's not. The Aston Martin Vantage, or Volante. This one's the Vantage from The Living Daylights, Timothy Dalton. Now guys, also, if you haven't, this isn't a plug for James Bond car collection, but if you guys have not got these, you've got to get these in your 007 collection. Like, even when, when I sell my James Bond collection, I don't think I could ever part with these. I just love them. There'll be a moment, I'm a little down or sad or something. Whatever, we all have these times, and I go in there and I look at these and they cheer me up because they just instantly take me into those great scenes and moments of the James Bond films. And it's so cool because there's a little Bond in there and there's a little Cara Malovey in there, and that's why I love the James Bond car collection. They went to so much detail. So guys, my number 5. Now I love this because we finally got to see a slick looking BMW work. The BMW Z8 from The World Is Not Enough. I love it. I love the missiles on it, how the missiles come out and they shoot the helicopter. Oh man, I nearly shat myself when the big buzzsaw thing chopped it in half. But I love it. I love the colour. I love the style of it. Now, if you've never, and no offence, but I'm assuming a lot of you out there have never seen a BMW Z8 in real life. I have. I've stood right next to one in Victoria, a BMW head office. I went in there to their head office one day, many, many years ago, back in, 2004. And I was at the head office and there was a Z8, silver one, exactly like that. There were very few of them actually made, and there was one sitting in the foyer of the BMW head office. And I was like, wow. And the thing is long too. It's like almost twice the size. It looks like twice the size of a Z3. The back of it's really long and it's so cool. It is a beautiful car to witness in real life. So guys, my number 4 is, you're probably expecting this one, in one heck of an awesome action scene. And I'll tell you what, I'd love to see I know this is almost blasphemy, but I'd love to see a modern day version with better, whether it's done with model miniatures, CGI, or the whole real thing, and just the way they could film it. Little Nelly. is my number 4, Little Nelly. Of course, she was going to be top 4. So, flown by Bond in You Only Live Twice across the volcano and attacked by the Spectre helicopters. And this one here is actually the special edition of the James Bond car collection. There were 3 special editions that were sent out to, I think, the subscribers of it. And that is one of those. So that is my number 4. We're getting deep now, guys. We're getting deep. Okay. Number 3 is a tie. Number 3 is a tie. I could not help but do a tie here. And sadly, one of the vehicles it's tied with is not here. But I'm going to tell you what that one is in just a second. So hang on. First one, so number 3, part 1 of the tie is, it just had to be, didn't it? The Acrostar mini jump jet flown by Corky Fornoff, doubling for Roger Moore in Octopussy. Have a look at that, guys. Oh, imagine having one of those in real life. Fill her up, please. It's just so good. And the James Bond car collection, again, they did a great job. Look at that, the little man sitting there in the background, the one that has to come and fill up the petrol. Okay, so that's number 3, part 1. Now, it's tied with one of my all-time favourite vehicles, obviously. Neptune sub from For Your Eyes Only. And unfortunately, I've never found a model miniature, toy miniature. It was never made by the James Bond car collection. But Neptune from For Your Eyes Only, reason being, imagine having one of those. Being able to go that deep down into the ocean. It just looked cool. And the way Conti's music, that music that came in as Neptune came down was so good. I love that vehicle. I know the James Bond or the Ian Fleming Foundation, Doug Redenius and those guys, I know they've got Neptune, and Doug even had Neptune at his home, I believe, for a while in his garage, but they've got it in a big shed somewhere where I believe people can do some tours and go and see them now. But love Neptune. My dream one day to visit and see Neptune. Okay, guys, so my number 2. Now, number 2 and number 1, here we go. Let's get some bit of music on here just to pump this up. This may surprise you, but at number 2 is the world famous Aston Martin DB5. Yep, it did not make my number 1. It is at number 2. And there's the little James Bond car collection one from Goldfinger. Now, it's been in Goldfinger, the DB5. It's been in Thunderball. It was in, it returned back in, it was actually in a Man from U.N.C.L.E. spoofy film as well. I think around 83 with George Lazenby in that film driving the Aston Martin DB5. But it was also in GoldenEye. Then it was in Tomorrow Never Dies. Then it was in Casino Royale. Then it was in, trying to think, did we see it in, just quickly, did we see it in, no, we didn't see it in Quantum of Solace. It was back in Skyfall, and of course back in Spectre. Now, yes, it's a great car. It's the one with the ejector seat and all the optional extras, and the introduction of it with Desmond Llewellyn as Q and Sean Connery's Bond. One of the best scenes of all time, explaining the gadgets. But for me, the whole... The thing that takes my number 1, the reason that got my number 1 was I just think the number 1 car, which I'm going to announce in a moment, I just believe was used better in the film it was in. So the DB5, it's great. I love it. We all love it. It's a thing of beauty. And I have seen one in real life. I'll tell you a story. When I was at high school, for a bit of extra cash, if I've never told you this, it's a cool little story, I was selling lollies. And one day I went to school and I came home and I'm like, hey Mum, can I go sell lollies? And I was selling these lollies for $2.50 a packet. And I would get 50 cents from every packet I sold because I was working for this company. And my brother was doing it as well. Anyway, I've got on my own this one day up my street to sell them up my street. And there was a kid that went to school with me and he lived like 5-6 doors up the road. And I've gone and knocked on his door. And I could hear people in there and I'm waiting for them to come to the door. And anyway, I've looked to my left, I've gone, And I've looked back, an Aston Martin DB5 original from like 63. I know it was in 64 in Goldfinger, but they were released in 63. Was sitting in this guy's, a DB5 was sitting in, it wasn't even a garage, it was just a carport. It was like a metal shed thing, or just a metal roof with poles, and one side was kind of covered up. That's why I couldn't see it from the front until I got to his door. The man's opened the door, he said, "Oh, hey, how can I help you?" And I said, "Oh, hi, I'm Steve, I go to school with your son, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "That's an Aston Martin DB5. He said, "Yeah, oh yeah, you like him?" And I said, "I'm a James Bond nut, I'm a James Bond fanatic." He let me go over. He didn't let me go for driving it with him. He didn't take me for driving it. He didn't even open up the doors. But he said, "Come over and have a look at it." And he let me, like, I put my hands on the window, I looked through the windows, walked all around it. And then probably a couple months later, I got off a bus, because, you know, I was only about 16, 17 at the time. I got off a bus. I'm walking home down the road, and there comes a DB5 up past me. Wow. Unbelievable. But it's not my number one. My number one car of all time, I think it's in the greatest car chase ever put to the James Bond films, if not one of the best car chases of all time. And if I could use this vehicle, it would be the Lotus Esprit, the 1977 Lotus Esprit from The Spy Who Loved Me. Now that is the sub version, which obviously everyone loves, and there is the street version. So the street version, and of course it goes off the jetty and it turns into that, and I think it's the best car chase ever put to the James Bond films. And if I was to own one, use one, imagine driving off a jetty. You got some jackasses there, whatever, you know. You get in a car chase, you drive off a jetty. You got a police helicopter above you, and you hit the missiles on it. So my number one is the Lotus Esprit. So guys, I'd love to know what you think. If you liked the video, please drop a like on it. Don't be lazy, guys. It supports the channel. Drop a like on it. Also, please leave your top 10 vehicles. Don't be lazy, Mano, by giving me 5. Everyone, if you're going to comment, give us your top 10 vehicles. Krazy Kajeevie wants to see yours. Also, before I go, I just want to say that one more honourable mention that I left out, and I love this vehicle, and it almost got in my top 10, so I don't know how I left it here, and I've just remembered it. It's one of my all-time favourite crazy vehicles. It is the alligator, or the crocodile submarine from Octopussy. I love that thing, and imagine being in one, even though I actually am claustrophobic, so I don't go well in tight spaces, but that is an honourable mention as well. Guys, let me know also, not only let me know your top 10 vehicles, but let me know what you would like me to do a top 10 video on. What you want to see Krazy Kajeevie's other top 10. James Bond best costumes, best action scenes, best henchmen. What would you like to see? Guys, till next time, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all that Krazy Kajeevie fun stuff. And keep on bonding, and say hi to your mum for me. Son of a bitch, putting my Aston Martin second. You crazy bastard, Kajeevie. Oh, I'm not happy.